Hey, listeners, if you haven't joined Stitcher Premium yet, now's the perfect time. Stitcher Premium gets you completely ad-free episodes of hundreds of shows like Comedy Bang Bang, WTF with Mark Maron, and Bitch Sesh, a Real Housewives breakdown. You also get 21,000 hours of exclusive content. 21,000 hours. New exclusive originals like Freedom with hosts Scott Ackerman, Lauren Lapkus, and Paul F. Tompkins, who are basically like the royalty of podcasting. And those shows are launching every week for Stitcher Premium members. If you love podcasts, you are missing out. Like I said, I mean, you could be listening to The Comedy Gods every week and 21,000 hours of other stuff. You got to do it. So when you listen to ad-free episodes in Stitcher Premium, your favorite podcasters get paid. So help support your favorite shows and join Stitcher Premium today. For a free month of listening, go to StitcherPremium.com and use promo code CRUCIBLE.
Well, hey guys.
Hey birds.
I like that we do this now. Make this laughing, chanting noise.
We lose our minds quick right before we hit start.
Good. Yep. Well, welcome listeners. This is Crucible Radio, your show for all things Destiny 2, PvP, and bunny news.
What's up with Kevin?
He's doing great. He's leaving this weekend.
Aww.
Sunday he goes to live. Well, he's going to one of the missus's coworkers who has bunnies.
Oh.
But like her bunnies are like proper rabbits, right? They're like full size. He's just a little guy. And so her coworker's like, I'm a little nervous, maybe if you don't know if you can hang with them. They're pretty bossy, pretty particular. Kevin has spent the last week antagonizing one of the cats, and I don't know if it's like at first we thought like, oh, he likes him, he wants his attention, because he would just be running circles around him over and over and over and over. I'll send you guys the video in a second when we're talking about something else, and you'll laugh. So yeah, like real kind of like repetitive and just getting as close as he can to the cat and running away and as close as he can. And then her coworker and so I'm thinking like, look, this guy can hang, right? There's a cat who is sick of his shit and tries to hit him, and he doesn't even mind because he gets to run away and come back, and it's all fun and games. And then her coworker was like, oh yeah, she looked at the video, she's like, oh yeah, that's like a seduction behavior. He's trying to seduce your cat. So we need to take little Kevin in. Well, I guess she'll do it, but he's getting spayed and neutered. We're doing both.
Do you think cats have like any sort of memories where they sort of think back on something that happened, and there's going to be like this month-long period where your cats are just like, you remember when they had that like weird like aggro-sexual bunny and they just disappeared? Yeah. What was up with that? Do you think they have to like think on that and get confused?
No, I can tell my cats are not doing any thinking at any point during the day, but I think they do. They do build a relationship. They have a rapport. They're nice, yeah. Well, and the other guy lets me scratch his head. He's into it now. So I realize like as I'm scratching this bunny's head and just like scrambling his brains, that I'm just like making him weird for life. Like parts of his brain are coming online because of too much head scratching now, and he's just going to be a little bit a lot of personality from this point on.
Anyways, thanks for taking this guy off our hands. Here's your fucked up bunny.
Yep. He's a character. It's entertaining. People like it. Anyways, enough rabbit talk. We've got Destiny to talk about.
Yeah, but first, before we dive into all this juicy deets from the Game Informer issue that came out this month, we do want to say that this comes out on Monday, and in just a few more days after that, we will be arriving in Tampa, Florida for the third year in a row to attend Guardian Con 18 or 2018. It's not the 18th Guardian Con, but you get what I mean. And if you're going to be there, be sure to say hello. We're going to be at the event. We're going to be hanging out. We're going to be in Tampa the whole time. And we hope to run into everyone who listens to the show and likes us. And it should be a fun time.
Yeah, we might also be doing a meetup with the guys over at Guardian Radio.
Yep.
Probably going to be Thursday night. We're looking at a place called the Sail Pavilion, but check our Twitter, Crucible Radio. We'll probably put the final deets on there Wednesday or Thursday afternoon.
Yeah, Twitter and the Guardian Con channel in the Discord, which is open and available to anyone. So a good way to stay in touch.
In addition to that, if you stayed to the end of the episode last week, you will know that we have got some hot new merch in the store.
Whoa.
And, oh my God, these are some good ones. These are some lovely new designs from the Lady Bones Muscles Marinara herself.
That's not a joke from this side. It's from our Patreon.
Yeah. Hey, 2 Patreon fun facts. The first, I was editing that episode the other day, and I had the distinct moment of going like, man, I hate my stupid voice so much. All my stupid ass, boring, rambling stories that don't go anywhere. Why am I talking? I just cut 90% of myself out. And also, fun fact, if you join our Patreon, patreon.com/Crucible Radio, you're going to get a free 10% coupon code you can use for any of the stuff in our store, 10% off your order. You get a couple new shirts, and we got a nice mix. We've got some art. We've got a real cool, just minimal typography Crucible Radio logo shirt. And then we've got the summer camp shirt you wish you had. It's so dope.
That summer camp shirt is the best.
It is really cool. It is really cool. I'm happy with these designs a lot. And especially the one that we just can't even describe because it's insane, but it's got Swain on it. So if you like Swain.
There's a illustration of me on a shirt. So if that's your thing, be the only other person besides my wife who bought one.
What did I put in the description for that one? I liked my description of that.
Okay, I didn't even look.
In Swain in the membrane.
Oh God.
It's called Swain Tea, and the description is in quotes, and this is a real quotation. Don't worry, I got it. And then in parentheses, original artwork by Bones.
That's true. I did draw this shirt. Miss Bones turned it into a nice, prettier image to go onto a shirt. But yeah, custom art by me. And if you want me to draw your face, I won't do it.
Not even
you
for
don't
a
want him
shirt.
to.
It's not gonna happen again.
All right, so check it out. It's all crucibleradio.com. But let's talk some Destiny.
Yes.
So I think we got to put this up front.
Yeah.
Please don't sue us, Game Informer. We are definitely not just going to read out the article to you guys. But we are going to pull some details that we have learned from Game Informer.
I read this in a magazine that gets printed out and mailed to my house every month. So, I mean,
you learned it that way.
Yeah. It's probably in the mail, and I just haven't gone to the mailbox to look yet.
Well, I read it on my phone, and it wasn't a great reading experience. I kept having to zoom in, but I still got all them
really
juicy
tiny
deets.
That's the problem with phones these days. It's too small.
Yeah, right? I need a big 32-inch phone, horizontally mounted at my desk.
Placed on your desk, yeah.
Yep, you got it. All right. Well, so first things first, we got a bunch of stuff coming with Forsaken, but actually a few weeks after Forsaken launches, they're going to lay low, and then they're launching a new game mode for the competitive playlist, and very exciting. Right about time. This is a new game mode called Breakthrough.
Yeah.
It's launching with 4 new Crucible maps, 3 of which are specifically designed to host Breakthrough. And it works like this. I thought this was interesting. So it's an objective mode, but a competitive one. So 2 teams, 4 players. At the start of each round, both teams attempt to control the breaker, which is this centrally located objective, which will allow you to hack the enemy vault. And once that central breaker is owned, it can't be recaptured, and whatever team lost, they go on the defensive. The attackers then need to capture their opponent's vault, which the breaker unlocked, before the time runs out in order to win the round. If they capture it, they get the point. If the defenders hold them off, they get the point. They say the new mode feels fast and intense with a strong focus on objectives. And I got to say, this is pretty exciting. It's like we're not going to get a payload mode, But this is kind of that feel, or Bones, sort of what you were talking about the other day, where you kind of fight in different places, right? You fight the first battle, and then you push through, and you're fighting in a different part of the map that's got a different feel.
Yeah, like Rush. Oh man, that gets me excited. I think this is awesome. I think it's like a very like pull you towards each other kind of mode. And it's what seems like kind of a faster pace than Countdown, because you got to get there. But the timing of it sounds really exciting, and this rush to the middle. I mean, I'm assuming it's in the middle. I think it sounds cool.
So just play a little bit of a devil's advocate, but like, do you think people will just not attack?
Yeah, lose it so they can play D
and just play D, or do you think that, like, I don't know, do you think technically defenders will end up like ending it before it even becomes like a game mode? You know what I mean? Like before anyone even gets the breaker, just wipes the whole other team. Like I feel like that could happen. If it is fast paced, you might end up with these like really weird rounds.
Well, we don't know what the revive situation is. So if you can just quickly revive and continue to throw bodies at the point, it might be hard to capture, or it might be a bad idea to, just opt for defense no matter what, when they can continue to respawn and put pressure and just cap. So, I mean, it could play in a lot of different ways. I'm thinking, sorry, dollar in the jar, but with Overwatch, I mean, games go either way. Sometimes you hold that first capture point and that's it. Like you're just, that's where you work. And sometimes you'll have a team that is so good up there, and that other team last second just barely uses all their ults, gets that capture after a really, really, really strong hold. But then that attacking team just like steamrolls from there. Like the power is shifted completely.
I think like respawn, if there is respawns for this mode, it'll be pretty key to have them like on the one side be really far away if you're attacking, and then the defensive team gets like respawns real close.
Yeah, sure. I imagine that it will be a good practice for the thing we always say in scrimmages and definitely in trials, but to sort of regroup and not trickle. Like don't push by yourself. And if this game is literally just all about pushing up and capturing this zone, and there is respawns, it'll be a really helpful mode to remember, like, okay, wait till we can all go together, and it will reinforce a good strategy.
One thing I like about this is that it sounds like they're short focus rounds. Like everyone who has played that game where we put the money in the jar has had that payload where it's like, oh, we can't move, you move this thing 3 inches and then you get a wipe and you're running back and you feel like you spend most of the game just running back to the objective. This feels much more quick than that, right? You're going to get a couple good pushes and that's it, right? Time's out, round is over. And so if you do end up losing one, it's not going to set the flavor for the rest of the match, which I like. And I think probably, Swain, I mean, I'm sure you will see people choosing to defend, but it'll have lots to do with the super economy, right? Like if you have your supers up, then like, let them push. Let's put a bubble on the point or whatever.
I would also like to, this is just like wish listing for the competitive game mode, but for like that whole playlist, I would love it if like we had like a really long 1 round type of competitive mode, something that like, we're going to keep talking about Overwatch. It's going to resemble Overwatch where it's like you're not going to have rounds. You're just going to have like something like escort the payload or some other thing where it goes and goes and goes. I like survival for this, but it just feels like you kind of whittle down. But it'd be nice if there was like something objective.
Either way, I like that this mode, I mean, of course, it's going in the competitive playlist, but now that we're going to see quick play going to 6v6, I like that it's kind of offering 2 sort of different experiences, like a very structured, focused, your loadouts have to be perfect, your teamwork has to be perfect, go into a 4v4 objective mode, and then you've got 6v6 quick play. It's all about the montage plays. Like, I think that's good. I think offering 2 different experiences is great for this game, especially when we've seen early quick play just be almost more intense than competitive. So I like that split. I like that they continue to sort of peel off in different directions, and it gives you a reason to try out multiple playlists and that sort of thing. I'm excited.
All right. Well, we've got this new game mode. I'm sure we're going to get to see some footage of it soon. Of course, we've got Gambit coming as well. But there was a whole lot else to talk about in this article. Something that we've talked about quite a bit, but now I've got some real clarity on is how the weapon slots are changing in detail. And then also some notes on the new mod setup, which sounds still vague but promising.
Yeah, there's like they do a good job here of kind of breaking down a bunch of things that we've already known about, or at least through like Vidocs and hearing someone talk about it on a stream, or reactions to the summit. But it looks like Game Informer got it all in writing, and we have something to kind of relay to everyone. As far as weapon slots go, it just seems like they're, like they said, they want to make it so that you can kind of run whatever you want. But if you want to run whatever you want, there's going to be a cost to it. And they're pulling out everything from the power ammo slot. So what will remain in power ammo and will use heavy ammo will be the like drum loaded grenade launchers, linear fusion rifles, rockets, and swords. That's kind of a duh. Like those things are powerful, and they usually end up being like not a lot of ammo. The only odd man out I feel like is linear fusions, because I don't know, like, do they really feel that powerful? Is that like more of a PvE thing? I don't know.
That must be a PvE thing.
Yeah,
that must be a damage.
At least in PvP, I'm just like, oh, this is. And you never know. They could do some more tweaking so that they're more powerful and they feel like they're a little bit better in that slot. Anywho,
remember too, we also have bows coming, which fill some of that same space.
Yeah,
true.
The other way it works is everything that was pulled out was given like a slot to occupy, whether it is the primary, like it's in the kinetic or the energy slots. So you're going to find that those things are distributed kind of, where they think the most powerful stuff should be. So a good example is that Hawthorne's shotgun is going to be a kinetic. They must feel that you will be able to use that a lot, keep that uptime really intense, but you're going to sacrifice it for some sort of, energy weapon, maybe another shotgun, maybe
that's interesting.
Something else.
That makes me wonder, like, Hawthorne's is the fast-firing archetype. I mean, are we going to see kind of a clear split with archetype? Like, I mean, you kind of see that with hand cannons, right? With 110s in the current kinetic slot. If we've got the fast-firing ones in our kinetic slot, and then your deadpan, your Balligant in the energy slot, that could be a way to do it, and kind of feels like sort of some of the approaches they've taken so far. I don't know how I feel about it. It's nice to have different archetype type options in each slot, but we will see.
Yeah, I feel like they don't want you doubling up on the same archetype for anything.
This makes sense. Yeah,
because then you negate some of the countermeasures that are in place.
Yeah. Well, there's something to be said too for like if you're running two high impact shotguns in your kinetic and your energy slot, and they're sharing ammo.
Yeah.
Then what's the point? Just use the.
And you bring that up that there's like a different way of distributing ammo. So we're back to primary, special, and heavy ammo as descriptors. And something like primary ammo weapons will include auto rifles, bows, hand cannons, pulse rifles, scouts, sidearms, and SMGs. Kind of the expected things. And then special ammo weapons will be the breech-loaded grenade launchers, fusion rifles, shotguns, snipers, trace rifles. So like Prometheus Lens and Cold Heart.
Yep.
That makes sense. I mean, if you're going to put it in different areas, it's just going to have to really rely on like weapon ammo being tuned right.
That's it, right? Like I'm a little surprised, and I say this as a huge fan of them who feels bad about it from time to time. I'm surprised they put the single shot grenade launchers using special ammo. which means they must be getting some rebalancing there. Because if I'm picking up 7 shots with every green brick, well, that won't happen. I imagine that those grenade launchers have been on their list for quite some time now, so probably we're okay.
Yeah, I'm literally gonna puke if I think of like a 3 singles or like 2, like a single shot grenade plus you've got play of the game on, like truly out of control.
And Hawthorns.
It's a lot.
And Hawthorns, yeah.
It's a lot.
The one little bit of anecdotal evidence I have is I watched Dato's video, and he had footage from Gambit, which obviously doesn't say anything about the PvP specific, ammo rates, if that'll be tuned differently. But it looked like they had a bow, a shotgun, and a rocket launcher, and they ran out of shotgun ammo so quick, and it was gone a lot. Like I didn't see many special ammo pickups, and you could see whoever was playing it would swap to the shotgun and be like, ah, crap, I'm out. Like, and then be like, oh, back to the bow. So the bow felt like it didn't feel limiting, but it was like, this isn't exactly how I would, pick my loadout. You know what I mean? Sure. Like, I wouldn't force myself into a bow or a rocket launcher for like everything.
I mean, I could see for that reason foregoing pretty much all the heavy weapons. I mean, I guess it's nice to have something for that heavy ammo when it comes up, but I wouldn't want to be caught out there with just a bow, right? If that's the only weapon you have ammo for, you're at a disadvantage versus having like an auto rifle to pair it with. And so if you're,
unless you're me,
unless you're you. Yeah, you're that fucking guy. This fucking guy over here. Well, we also got some new details on mods. I'll just tell you what they are. They are, first, recoverable from legendary gear.
Yay.
Well,
that's
about
cool.
time. Yeah, nice. One thing I remember asking for on the show a long-ass time ago, fewer mods that are more interesting. Nice. Fewer conditionals that limit what class or weapon type the mod can apply to. So no more managing grenade mods for 3 different subclasses.
Remember when they just had primary reload speed on your arms, and then they made it hand cannon and sidearm and bleh.
Yeah.
Bleh.
And then finally, most of the individual mods I learned about allow you to specialize a piece of gear in a preferred playstyle, like increased hip fire or airborne accuracy or extra damage against vehicles. Well, those sound like weapon mods that aren't elements. That sounds like hip fire and Icarus, which are perks. I suppose they could still live on your armor, but it kind of seems like weapons are going to have interesting mod choices now. And like, hey, you really like blowing up sparrows and
Sounds like Far Cry.
Yeah, right. That's a thing. Yeah, you're into that thing. And also, just because why not? They're stirring the pot. No more light boost from legendary mods anymore.
That's fine, because that weird like invisible math I had to do every time.
Yeah, very odd.
I didn't come here
like
to add.
Either that or just being like, okay, I don't have any good mods. I'm just going to throw whatever gives this 5 more light onto it. Mm-hmm. Yep. And then you're in a different Nightfall, and you're like, crap. Switch over to Void.
And I gotta say, like, for a game that was all about appealing to the new player and stuff, like trying to explain to my girlfriend who had already played Destiny 1, like, why the number was 5, but the stuff drops lower than it, and the blues are not the 5 points, and that's the total of your light, but you got to be 305. Confusing as hell.
Yep. I just like the idea of being able to try stuff. Like, I went because a gunslinger can get 3x solar melee mods. I talked about this a couple weeks ago, and I wanted to say, like, all right, let's just see how often I can have a knife and how that'll work. And it was like kind of fun, and I put in a set of armor. But for like my arms, it was the last one I had, and so it's like, okay, I can build a new armor set and just keep this one as is, or I can put something I actually want to use in this armor set and then lose that mod forever. It's just a hassle. So to have them recoverable is, for me, that's recoverable and just fewer varieties. So when you're playing that mod game, you're turning in your Glimmer, you're building up mods. You're not just going for every possible permutation of element and effect and boost and position. A little more simplified would be much appreciated. What else? We've got a new exotic weapon, the Cerberus +1, which is based off of the spread gun from Contra. It's a super fallen weapon that's just 4 guns taped together, and it kind of shoots all over the place.
I'm down.
Dope. Yeah, I'm into it. But yeah, hey, we got new supers. We got them juicy deets.
Yeah, baby.
Dish me them dirty deets.
Well,
Dirty
hey,
deets.
guess what?
Dirty.
Jesus. Before we talk about all these supers, which are all fucking bonkers, we don't have to read you any message from a sponsor this week. So what if we let our listeners just like totally jam out for a minute or two?
Whoa.
An unmonetized musical break?
Just some tunes, man. Just some crunchy tunes.
Crunchy tunes,
to
bro.
break up the monotony of our stupid voices. Let's rock out.
Do it. Folks, isn't this something? This is just something. This is Ruinizer. Hot dang. Check him out. Ruinizer. It's Ruinizer. I know I made the same joke last week. It's a good name, ruinizer.bandcamp.com. Go check him out. Go send him some love, or just put this stuff on when you're feeling serious. And of course, if you're a musician and you'd like to hear your music on Crucible Radio, it all starts when you send us an email, crucibleradio@gmail.com. I'm going to be scoring the whole show now, every minute of it. Okay.
Birds,
supers.
can you just get one of those, like, you know, the samples that, like, Kanye used on Dark Twisted Fantasy, and then, like, a little bit on, like, Kendrick's new shit where it's just, like, the guy yelling and you spam that phrase really fast? You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, maybe I could have it be like, what should I say?
You just, I don't know, something loud and, like, unintelligible.
Chabat!
Yeah. Oh, man.
I'm having fun. You guys are all going to own them in 2 weeks. I'm going to show you this thing at Guardian Con. You're all going to want one.
Oh,
it's best $80 you'll ever spend.
2 weeks is next week's, Bird.
Yeah, it's going to take, I gave a week for shipping.
We're going to have to go to Guitar Center and pick something up like we did last year.
Okay.
All right, so there's new supers, all right? So there's new little, packs of 4. They're little perks, and they come on your super screen. And
are we going to save the best for last?
Which one's the best?
Titan.
Well,
yeah.
I don't know. They're all pretty nuts. These are truly so weird. I feel like we're talking about a different video game when I saw these descriptions earlier today.
These have to be the things that like Claude was giggling about on our show back in like October.
Yeah.
Let's do so the Titan ones are awesome. The Warlock ones are complicated.
Yes.
Let's do the Hunter ones first.
Okay.
They seem a little more straightforward.
They are shorter, and therefore I probably understand them more.
Okay, let's pretend like I'm still a Hunter main, and I will lead us through these.
Birds represent your people. That's what you're supposed to do.
I have a lot
That's
of
why you're on the
allegiances
show.
that are-
We'll just pick up
Yeah.
a different hunter.
Yes.
Cammy play hunter?
Drewski does.
Drewski
I like
does,
to
okay.
think I've got a real hunter personality that shines through.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, you wear
Night
capes
Stalker.
all the time.
Yes, sure. Cape skin. 24 points in Scrabble. First up, we got Night Stalker. This is The Way of the Wraith.
Oh, so cool.
Check it out. Your melee smoke bomb heavily damages and slows those in its path. Yes!
Wombo
this
combo.
is what I wanted from D1. I wanted the wombo. I wanted 2 grenades. Nail the perfect precision kill against a foe to vanish and gain true sight. What? This is unclear. Is that nail the perfect precision kill with a smoke bomb to the
I think
face?
that's a kill with whatever you want. Like, I think this is just a perk in the perk tree.
When they say perfect, does that mean only
Like
headshots?
a precision kill, like you get like the
They
last,
say perfect
the last
precision kill.
Last
It
like
cannot be last kill with precision because you vanish and gain true sight. So it's
Just go
it
invisible
can't
every
be
time you
that.
get
if you get like
headshot?
a headshot, you go invisible.
Nah,
And you get
it's got to
all
be
hacks.
all headshots. It's got to be all. Come on. That'd be crazy.
How would it take that into account though? Like if you did damage or someone else did, I think it's the last bit of damage. If it's precision, you get the stuff.
All right. Guess I'm running this then.
Just go invisible all the time.
And wall hacks.
And then we've got Spectral Blades, the super. We saw a little taste of it. Drops you into a veil of shadows to slip behind foes and stab them before they even know that you're even stabbing them.
I can imagine Claude describing these things to me in person, and I'm hearing him read these. And
Okay,
it's like, yeah,
so
Claude definitely said these things.
that's my
to
Claude
me.
impression.
I can imagine Dave from the Vidocs just going.
Yeah, there you go. Just sample it. All right, next up we got Gunslinger, and hey, this is a cool one. It's a knife trick thing. Knife trick melees fling out a fan of burning blades. You know that ability from every game ever. Hearthstone.
Well, first
and
off, what you do
others.
is you spin around in a circle. You hold the 3 knives in front of your face. It zooms up. You give a cool anime look, and then with
Little lens flare?
with a little flick of the wrist as your hand splays out towards the person, 3 enemies travel seemingly without real momentum and in a perfect arc into your foe.
Let me ask you a question. After I throw the knives, do they freeze frame for a moment, radiating out in a perfect arc before resuming in real time?
Oh
and
yeah,
going
yeah.
to their target?
Almost as if they have stopped in the air while we see you
Right, and I'm
in
doing
the
a cool
background.
pose while this is happening, right?
yeah.
Okay, dig it,
Yeah, of
dig it.
course.
Makes sense. Okay, so it's a fan of burning blades. In turn, killing burning enemies recharges your knife trick, and burning enemies also recharge your dodge. So this is Gunslinger about keeping that burn uptime. You're going to see a lot of incendiary grenades, or I suppose the others as well, but seems like incendiary grenades is a good one to get a lot of damage and quickly clean them up. And then we've got a new knife-based super. Blade Barrage doubles down on your knife skills to expel a volley of explosive knives. I'll tell you, I've expelled a couple volleys of explosive such and such. Never knives. Never knives. That's a poop joke. Let's move on. Arcstrider, Way of the Current. Slide before a melee to unleash a staff-powered uppercut. Yes!
That's
And
kinda cool.
yeah, so make note of this. It is a slide-triggered ability.
I slide
And
all the
any
time.
melee hits increase your reload speed. Cool. All your arc abilities electrify your enemies, and subsequent melee strikes disorient them and refuel your abilities. So this is an up-close and punchy punchinal subclass. Use your staff super like normal if desired, but Whirlwind Guard means that you can guard by spinning your staff, reflecting back projectiles, and tripling your staff's damage afterward. We all saw Deadpool. It was fun. He does it. Doesn't work so well all the time.
Also
Spins
makes me
swords
think
around.
of the Flash when he waves his arm really fast.
Arm circles. Okay. These all sound cool. Let me ask this. I know the one for me. Which of these sounds the most? Which one are you guys looking forward to trying out the first?
I'm sort of interested in the gunslinger. That the knife kind of combo there, because we were all about the little combos you can do with our perks, is sort of the inverse of one that exists now, which is a precision kill with the knife refills the knife. So that means it's the last thing you do. It kills the enemy. And I think currently that's kind of just hard to pull off. And
it's expensive, yeah.
I don't understand really what's doing that in this game, in this sandbox versus D1, but knife kills and knife finishing kills are far less common now. So I'm wondering if it's much easier to start and initiate the damage, get some burn, and then finish off maybe with a hip fire or something like that with your SMG, where all you got to do is make sure you're landing those body shots, and that this combo, this like loop here might trigger faster and more often. So I like how it's sort of the opposite of what exists now, and I'm interested to see how that plays out.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really interested. Gunslinger 2, I like that. Like the whole, like, you get a thing from doing a thing. But how can I lie and just say I don't want to try out Night Stalker? That sounds so cool.
Come on. It's an offensive Night Stalker. You're no longer playing a support class. It's great. And to have the wombo
spooky
back.
too.
To have a meaningful wombo and to be able to like basically have 2 grenades and be able to use one or both. This was
It's a
what
spooky
a
blade
playstyle I
dancer.
left behind D1. I want it back.
I like that some of these, and we'll continue to discuss ones that do something similar, sort of are a departure from the visual and most like iconic parts of that class, and I think that's cool. Like it's like how the split Nova Bomb was kind of interesting in D1. It just looked a little different, and now for the first time, a gunslinger won't just pull out the flaming gun. And I think that's just cool. I think it's going to sort of just be visually stimulating in a way that makes this feel like a lot of great new stuff to try, even if it's not just like, purely brand new subclass from the ground up. So I just like that part. But let's move on to Warlocks, shall we?
It also is going to make you like think on your feet when you hear that like super go off or see it in the feed, because you're going like, unless you like inspected everyone's subclass and their actual choice ahead of time, you're going to be like, oh, is there a gun or is there a bunch of knives?
There's burned in stuff and it's flying through the air. That's all I know. All right. So now we get complicated because Warlocks love complication, I guess.
Yeah, get out your spreadsheet. Damn.
Right. So let's see one we've seen a little bit in Gambit footage. I want to start with Dawnblade. This is called Attunement of Grace. And we talked about this on the show. Big news is that this is almost the first true support class in the fact that it heals your allies. So here's the full thing. Melee attacks burn the bad guys, but they empower allies. So I can smack a friend and make them stronger. Okay. Pat on the back.
Friend, and I'll smack you back.
You can transform your grenade, like holding it, into a blessing, which is a projectile that heals allies and drops retrievable overshield orbs. I mean,
so cool.
What the hell? I mean, you're like
a team fight mechanic.
Yeah, that's awesome. For the first time, I have a reason to like literally not just know where my teammates are, but directly look at them and interact with them. I find that very, very interesting. And I love that we're using that transform animation where you charge the grenade. I think that's really cool. And so the super, as we've seen in footage, is Well of Radiance. Your sword goes straight down, and there's this big rift, basically, an aura that rapidly heals and empowers your friends. And any ability that heals or empowers helps regen your non-super ability. So again, just loop, get ability kills, get more abilities. But yeah, I mean, that melee system and that grenade system is truly a departure from Destiny as we know it into directly supporting and helping your teammates by giving them health or strength, I guess. This is really, really interesting.
This is going to be one of those, I think it's going to be one of those subclasses that you're going to hear someone complain about it and you're going to shake your head. Be like it's not going to be worth complaining about because you're going to be like, this person is putting maximum effort into making this subclass work. And you're just upset because it's working really well against you.
I just want two Dawn Blades to throw grenades and heal each other back and forth and be like those Taken Vex that just like make each other invincible.
Why don't they ever make a circle? They could be immortal, life immortal. Swain, the reason I'm not worried about that is because for every one person you get complaining about how, I can't kill this guy, his teammates keeps healing him, you'll have a dedicated support main who only runs this class, who's driven insane every solo queue game, trying to help their teammates, leaving them goodies everywhere, trying to set the goodie right in front of them and watching as their teammates dodge the help that they're being handed and insist on dying.
Stay cuts both still. Ways.
Yeah, right? Eat the orb. Why didn't you? It's right there. Do you have to do the airplane thing with the spoon? No.
Yeah. Okay. So the other ones here are a little bit more what we're familiar with, which is defeating the enemy, but they're equally interesting. The one I'm very excited about, Attunement of Fission on Voidwalker. So a new Atomic Breach melee ability creates a void explosion at range while holding the grenade button down, creates a short range area of explosion supernova. So there's a clip on this. It's tough to describe it. If this is the first time you're hearing about it, go look for the Game Informer preview video of their D2 coverage because there is a little clip of this. But essentially, instead of your grenade launching and exploding where it hits, think pocket sand. Essentially, you overcharge and go blah, and it sprays out in front of you. It bounces around it literally in a nice wide arc, and you just sort of destroy what's in front of you. And here we have a really big departure from typical play in another way, where grenades are all about throwing them and having the effect happen where they land. And here it's just about, no, this is going to be right in front of me. I don't have to time it. As long as it's going out when there's some guy in my face, you're just going to go blah and pocket sand him in the eyes.
Yeah. Well, it's got a nice wide kind of range of effect on it. Mm-hmm. It seems nice. You're not trying to, nail someone who's just come around the door. You can just guard the whole door.
Yeah. Nice widespread. I mean, from what I could tell in a little bit of footage, it like 3 dregs get taken out. So a lot of hallways and door frames and narrow corridors in Crucible definitely of that size. So yeah, it depends on how much damage it does, but it could be really effective if you're in those melee battles and you just want to get people out of your face. It's cool. And then of course we've got the explosion, the Nova Warp, where you can actually teleport a bunch of times and then erupt. So that's
like Night Stalker.
That's just cool.
It's cool.
Nightcrawler. That's what it said. Not Night Stalker. Duh.
Well, not too far off.
And then, of course, last but not least, or hopefully not least, Attunement of Control for Stormcaller. This one, I got to read this one nice and slow because,
please,
bonkers. Tap the melee button to fling out a long-distance electricity ball that eventually detonates and flings a lightning bolt straight downward. Arc kills sometimes create ionic traces, a spark of raw energy that travels across the ground towards you, which can be collected to recharge abilities.
Okay.
This sounds like some like top-down isometric RPG stuff. Where
it really does.
Throwing out magic.
Like you're gonna throw this. What is it? Like you're gonna throw
like
the
grenade?
Yeah, no, you're throwing a melee.
Electricity. You're gonna throw this melee really high in the air, and then the lightning bolt will hit them from really. You're gonna see someone do it. It's not gonna be common.
Oh, this is down B with Pikachu in Smash. There you go. It makes sense. Except apparently, that's the thing is if you're standing 20 feet away and I throw this thing over you, does it shoot the lightning bolt down when it's over you? Does it do it at a certain set? Eventually, we will.
The word "eventually" is very confusing. I mean, I wonder if it has a little bit of tracking or aim assist, because how would I know when it goes down? I don't know. Very fascinating. Really be cool if it truly has no like Pikachu. As long as you're in that vertical space, it works. That'd be cool.
Dun, 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 dun.
And then we've got the Chaos Reach, which is the stream of blue energy, the shootout, which we've seen in the trailers. But what I like about this is you can actually deactivate it early and save energy. So I assume your supercharge doesn't completely deplete.
That's
and
cool.
that is big because I don't know if there's been one we can sort of turn off. And a lot of times in the Crucible, maybe you pop it, maybe it just kind of sucked, or like your teammates killed everything before you and you float around in your super for a little bit. The other team hasn't spawned and all right, nothing came of that one. At least now you can sort of turn it off and go like, well, that was a bad one and I'll get it back in a minute or something like that. I think that's cool.
It's not just being able to save it, right? Like I'm all done, I'm not going to use it. I notice I make a consistent mistake with my Storm Trance, which is I've got like a third of my energy left and I think, all right, let's keep pushing. I can go get them. And it's just the bus drops me off out in the open with a bunch of full health enemies who I tickled a little bit. So to be able to recognize, okay, this is not where I want to use it anymore. Let's turn it off. That's cool.
That's awesome. That's an efficiency that no supers really had until now. So I'm excited to see how that plays.
Well, all right, Swain, tell me about some good shit. What do we got?
Oh, awesome. Yay. All right. This is I'm gonna have to put $1 in the Overwatch jar for this one. So the new Sentinel super is going to well, I'll start with the melee first. So the melees cause explosions. This is another like Stormcaller.
Yeah.
But all void ability damage also attaches a void detonator, and any subsequent damage causes the detonator to go off and attach detonators to enemies caught in the explosion.
It's just more detonators.
So are they just like appearing out of thin air? Like how are these? Anyway, I wonder if the subsequent detonators do less damage.
Must be. There must be some end to this chain of detonators.
So
okay, well we'll figure it out. If anything, it feels like it sort of reminds me of the little damage greeblies that Graviton does, where you kill somebody and then you get the little things. They maybe seek a little bit and find some nearby guys.
So Sentinels now punch Gravitons.
Yeah, sure.
Cool.
Sure, makes sense. Why not?
They punch the detonator for a Graviton, and then you got to shoot them, and it explodes on them.
Yep. Well, finish the loop out too. When detonators trigger, it charges up grenade energy for you and nearby allies.
Yes.
Cool.
And then the super is Banner Shield. Can still be used for offense like normal, but holding guard creates a barrier wall of light that absorbs enemy attacks, but allows ally attacks to pass through.
Cool.
Yeah.
This like takes me back to when I was like, hey, can you make the shield, like make a gun that shoots through the shield? That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, you did. You did, didn't you? Yeah.
This
is a mechanic. We know this mechanic from other place. So.
Other place.
The other place. That's really cool. Like, I could see it for capping points and stuff and like moving your cover. Mm-hmm. Like, so you don't have to be in one place. You can kind of just like shimmy around while you're finishing off a round.
I immediately thought of like a countdown game where the new Dawnblade throws down their Well of Radiance and it's like, all right, we're all buffed up, we're fully healed, like we'll control this zone. And then just down the lane, in walks this Sentinel holding a shield with the team behind him, and the Dawnblades was like, oh no, because we can't shoot that. I love this sort of like just ability warfare kind of thing.
Yep. Yeah, you're gonna have to like hide because you know that you're gonna be able to get shot through it. So
you can't just like yelling at your teammates who shoot uselessly at this shield and get mowed down. they will. I would not be surprised if this became a guaranteed raid staple that you basically need for
damage
phases.
Like phases.
Yeah. You can technically do it without, but you really want to have one of these to.
Yeah, that's a good
doing
point.
Those deeps.
All right, next up is the Striker. It's called Code of the Missile, and it's a little on the nose because you essentially become a missile.
And you land on your nose every time.
The melee, if you remember from D1, Death from Above, it's that. You do a slam onto the ground like a bunker buster and gain super energy for your troubles. So is just doing damage giving you super energy? Or do you have to, like, obviously when you kills, you get super energy. But if you're just getting super energy for doing melees, that's pretty cool.
Well, so I actually did see there's some good Gambit footage, I believe from MTash, where he uses this ability and he lands near about 3 Cabal and none of them die because, of course, melees right now are not about this massive, punch a knight, they die kind of thing. And that's how they function in the game now. But he does damage all of them. They have that stagger back. So I imagine it's worth it to do that, getting super from that and just consistently dealing damage. And if it's a weak enemy, you can, hunt them from the sky and then finish them off and close that distance. So I bet that there's a super charge just from dealing damage. Otherwise, it's not the straight up shoulder charge insta kill that it could have been.
Yeah. The next thing is a little just crazy. If you pick up ammo while sliding, you automatically reload your equipped weapon and increase weapon damage for a short time.
Jeez.
Yup. That's cool, man.
This
is the second
sliding,
time we've seen
slide macros inbound.
Always be sliding.
I wonder what the increased damage entails, though. That'd be pretty cool if it changes some archetype kills. Oh, some headshots.
It's got to be like just a little glass half full kind of taste or something like that. Cause
my guess would be similar to the Empowering Rift, which boosts your body shot damage, but isn't going to flat out increase time to kill.
Yeah, good point. Yeah.
And then the super Thunder Crash sends you hurtling great distances like a missile to hit a target area like a meteor strike.
Well, it's hitting a target area like a missile. Come on. It's code of the missile. You hurtle like a missile. You hit a target area like a missile. You're a missile. All of your friends are missiles. You're missile
One
guys.
thing I got to clarify again, I know I probably mentioned it, but the cool part about this that I saw was that when traveling through the air, if you hit someone, you kill them and keep going. Like you just pass through and destroy them.
Yeah,
and send them into electricity and continue on. You are not stopped by an enemy that you hit if you do hit someone in the air, which is really cool.
I think it ends when you hit the ground. Like, so if you purposely stay off the ground, it acts as a, roaming super. But if you hit the ground, it ends. So be careful.
Yeah, and you go hurtling towards the earth pretty fast. It doesn't seem like you can just Superman around and wait till you see your mark. But you can consider like I can pass through enemies and not end my missile launch. So I think that's going to be a pretty awesome super when it comes to highlight plays.
And then finally, Sunbreakers Code of the Devastator.
You saved this for last.
I did.
It wasn't even last on our list.
It was second. It's now last because it gets me so excited. Throw your hammer with the melee button. So right off the bat, like all these melees are so much different than just straight up melees.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. Throw your hammer with the melee button, but it remains in the world. Retrieve it where it fell to fully recharge your melee ability and trigger health regen. So, you could technically throw this at the ground and get your health regen immediately when you pick it back up.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to throw my hammer into so many inopportune places and not be able to get it back.
Oh no, it's over there. But it's still a melee ability, and that's really cool. So it's like a throwing knife that sticks around, but bigger? I don't know.
Also, it's a hammer.
I feel like that has so much potential for some big plays that you're going to throw it into a group of people, and it's just you're going to be like, all right, time to go in, get my hammer back in the midst of all that. And then it says the more solar abilities you get, the more solar ability kills you get, the higher your damage up to 3 times. So, I mean, it's just a matter of chaining together your melee, your super. You're just going to keep doing damage as you go through.
PvE monster, but yeah.
Yeah. And then the actual super Siege Hammer creates a flaming maul that is much bigger than the normal hammer that hits like an earthquake and leaves behind flame tornadoes.
I like how this is like Thor pre-Ragnarok and Stryker is Thor post-Ragnarok.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Put $1 in the Ragnarok jar.
I'm so excited for all of this.
I know. Yeah, I mean, of course, new stuff, new exciting plays and things like that. But like I said at the beginning of this, like it truly feels like these depart from what we know in really fun ways. Different interactions, different sort of powers coming from recognizable subclasses that we're familiar with. It just feels like a great update. It feels like a lot of new things are going to be happening, and we don't just have slight changes to our supers. And who knows what kind of changes could come on the other subclasses? Because I imagine we'll still want to go back to those. I don't know. It just seems like a lot of new stuff. A lot of new stuff is happening. It's really great to hear that so much can come from these attunements and that these little paths. And that's what we said. I don't know, 100 episodes ago. When we learned about this, like it offers room to add a whole different vibe on a recognizable thing. So I'm excited.
Yeah. Oh, and then we've also got some stuff coming later this month too, before any of that even happens.
Oh my God. And it's July. Oh God.
Yikes. All right. Well, that's a lot to process in one episode. We processing. Is that it, boys? Anything else? That's it.
Yeah, I have to go think on this. I need to go pour a glass of whiskey and sit by the fire and think about attunement of fission for a while.
I'm going to go make some dope beats. Just like that. Hey, go to crucibleradio.com. Check it out. You can check out the stuff in the store. You can find some call-out maps so you can learn what to call the places. You can find every episode of Crucible Radio ever made. You can go to Patreon Crucible Radio. You can play with us. You can hear the bonus pod. You can get some merch on the discount.
You can find out what we mean by muscles marinara.
Yeah.
That's canon.
There's apparently like a lot of personal details about me on that podcast when I wasn't there.
Yeah, I feel like I was not unkind in the edit.
I'm excited to hear it. And then excited to somehow even the odds at a later date.
Very ready to dish them dirty deets on you.
Oh yeah. This 4th of July, we're hanging out with my mom and my cousin, and it's just like, and this is another thing he does. And I'm like, what? This is family bonding?
She did an impression of you that actually I thought was fairly accurate.
She's allowed to have an impression of me. I have a lot of impressions of everyone in my life, and that hasn't destroyed any relationships for me yet. So,
not yet. All right. Well, I'll take us out, boys. Till next time.
Drop the beats, birds.
Yeah, birds. Drop the beat.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Here we go.
Boom. Bye, guys.
Hello everyone, Swain here. You know that Crucible Radio is your source for all things Destiny PvP, and I know you want more than just this video, so make sure to head on over to crucibleradio.com to find all of our past episodes, detailed Crucible maps, t-shirts, and much, much more.